Hi, I'm Nick Francis from the Falkland Islands. I've got a brewery down there between myself and my wife. Just took over from Jeff Halliday, who was here a few years ago. Yeah, so we new at it. We only been doing it for a year. We want to come over here and start knowing the science of it. We've been shown how to do the brewing by Jeff about 12 months ago. Um, but like I said, we just want to know the ins and outs of how you actually do a brew, what's all included, the science of it, and what we're trying to do is make sure that I can take back some knowledge to the Falklands and to our brewery and be able to make our own beer at the end of the day. It's been an eye opening. Uh, you know, like I said, I know how to brew, but that's only following Jeff's instructions. But there is a lot I've seen that we could tweak things around in back home. But it's like I say, it's an eye opener, and I've seen so many ways of how you can actually do it. Yes, the recipe formulation is quite interesting. It's a lot of calculations to do.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan for maths, but yeah, the placements was really good. We went to like three different places, and we can see how it differed from each other as well on the way they do things. The brew day has been quite interesting too, because I mean because we're only here for a short time. We work on a smaller scale, but it's interesting to see how you can play around with the smaller things and then upscale it at the end of it if it all works out. And that's primarily what you want to do is just try on a smaller scale before you start wasting all the beer, all the liquor. They all had their own little things about it. I think, if anything, what's similar to my setup in the Falklands is the last one I went to was Darwin. That was quite interesting. Quality control, I think it benefits quite well. I mean, a lot of quality control is all to do with risk as well, what you take, and uh, but making sure that your product is not contaminated or you get, there's also the CCPs, the critical control points you have to put in place, which is an eye opener because it's a health for food safety. So having that knowledge now, I can safely say that I'll be making sure my beer quality at the end of the day is going to be spot on. I did like the lab side of things. It was that was I've never done that sort of work before, so that was quite interesting. A lot of that I can take back as well, especially finding up with microbiology stuff, which is quite interesting because you need to know if your final product is going to be safe enough to sell. So I thought that aspect of it was quite good. So I was asked by my wife to see if we can get the session IPA going whilst I'm here. So I made an attempt of that. I think that was the first brew we did, or I did, and think it turned out quite good. And the last one I did was a stout. So I wanted to compare it to the oatmeal stout we do in the Falklands, which is called Pig Cutter. But we just finished packaging that brew, so and it tastes quite good. I quite enjoy it. I am. I'm doing two jobs, so I'm not just doing brewing. I'm doing my own job as well. But my wife's full time with the brewing side of it, so I help her out. But we want to our main um, our main customer will be the tourists in the tourist season. So we got an influx of tourists coming into the Falklands. So what we're trying to do is create the right beer for them, including the facilities, making sure that's will facilitate any of them that's coming. We don't want them all piling up outside the door, but we just want to make sure that we cater for them and give them the right beer that they're asking for and answer the questions they ask me about beer. I can give them a bit more, I get more knowledge on beer making now and hops, the grains, the malts, so I can actually answer their questions quite easily now. Of course, I would recommend Brewlab. I wouldn't recommend to anyone in the Falklands because it's just us there. It'll be a competition. But no, being honest, I would say to anyone who wants to start up their own microbrewery is to come here, know the ins and outs of it, the science of it, and that, and you need that knowledge so you can determine if something goes wrong. You know where to because you log everything down, you know where to go back to, and find where the issues are. But it's quite intense because we've got 3 weeks to do it in. It's quite a lot being pushed down on into you, but I think it's a really good way of learning how to brew beer.